Maracuyaaaaaa is about personal development, growth, spirituality, law of attraction, the woo-woo and the unseen into my life. It has completely transformed my world. Let's just start. Hello and welcome to Maracuyaaaaaa. Maracuyaaaaaa means passion fruit in Spanish. It also translates to the fruit that serves itself. Passion is something that drives me, very impulsive and very, I'm gonna go do this thing, I'm gonna go do it now. Fruit is something where it's like you have to plant a seed into the ground and give it time to grow. It's going to create a tree, then the tiny seed will start and then it will become a fruit, and then you have to wait for the fruit to ripen. And if you eat that fruit before it's ripe, it's not gonna taste great. And if you wait until it drops onto the floor and it's rotting, that's also not gonna be great. But at the peak, at the prime, you have this juicy, amazing fruit, which if you've ever had passion fruit, it's delicious. This channel, Maracuyaaaaaa, is about personal development, growth, spirituality, law of attraction, positive thinking, all of that. I'm gonna be sharing a video with you every Monday. That's my challenge to myself. I don't even have the proper mic situation happening right now. I don't really care. I'm gonna have probably a better and better setup each week. It'll be fun to take this journey together, but I figured, let's just start. Who am I? My name's Kristen Ford and I am a musician. I'm also an actor and a writer. My life has changed completely since discovering some spiritual teachers and incorporating spirituality into my life. I also am a fan of science and therapy and trying to eat well and get exercise, and I'm not completely like into the let's just sit on a rock and wait and see what happens, but I will say that since incorporating a bit of the woo-woo and the unseen into my life, it has completely transformed my world. My journey probably began listening to The Power of Now from Eckhart Tolle, and so much of what he was talking about just really resonated with me on a deep level. Eckhart's got some great YouTubes. I really recommend listening to him if you're ever on a plane and you need to sleep, because oh boy, is that a soothing voice that man has. I mean, Eckhart's great, and it got me thinking about the true nature of reality and detaching from the ego and being more present in the present moment. When a friend told me about Abraham Hicks, who is a collection of entities channeled by Esther Hicks, when I heard about Abraham and I started listening to Abraham and doing some of the things that they suggested, that's when my life really changed. And what I loved about Abraham was, it's like, where's my stuff? Ask and it's given. It's not just about becoming spiritual or woo-woo or reaching some kind of like pinnacle. It's about like choosing. Life helps you choose what you prefer, and then by staying in a positive state, by choosing things that align with that frequency, then the universe will bring them to you. And that's awesome, because that was something I felt like Eckhart Tolle was a great teacher, but it was all about detachment and not really wanting stuff. And with Abraham, it's like, you can get your stuff. But the trick is you have to be happy without it. You have to be happy along the way. Because the only reason you want anything is just because you assume you'll be happy in the having of it. Another teacher that came into my life and is kind of an out there one, but is well worth a listen, is Bashar. So I started down this rabbit hole of listening to people who channel, and this guy, Daryl Anka, channels an extraterrestrial, supposedly, named Bashar. And Bashar is great because he's so blunt and to the point, and he basically says that excitement is the key. Follow your excitement. Whether that's, I'm more excited to have coffee than tea, or I'm more excited to check my email first and then check my missed calls. It doesn't have to be something massive, but your passion, your maracuyaaaaaa, I feel like doing this, that's what you should do. In following your passion and also in releasing the need to know why or what's the point or what's to come of it, it can enable magic to happen in your life. He calls it a complete formula for like the key to unlock the universe. So sometimes you just have an impulse to call someone, and sometimes you just know you're gonna get that parking space. And it's beautiful to just follow your passion. And that's what I'm trying to do right now with this video. I don't really know what's gonna come of this channel, but I'm feeling passionate about it in the moment, so I'm taking action on it in the moment. Let's just start and focus on aligning with creating great content. And I feel like it's kind of a boys club out there in the law of attraction and business development and self-help world. I just feel like there's a lot of charismatic men who have a lot to say, and honestly, I'm ready to have there be more queers and more women and more non-binary people out there making their voices be heard, because I think that's something else that Abraham has resonated with me deeper than really most any other teacher. It's coming from a woman's voice. It's coming from a woman's perspective, and not this just like, I'm a spiritual teacher. So Bashar's another teacher that's had an impact on how I do things and how I kind of just choose to let a lot of stuff go. Be like, well, it doesn't matter. And also how exciting to know what you don't want. That means you know what you do want. How exciting to be perhaps living with not as much money as you would like in your bank account. That means you have an abundance of lack. That means you can identify where you are with scarcity and choose to believe that we live in a loving universe, and that if it takes care of the birds and the trees and all the nature, then it probably could take care of you too. And if terrible people like Elon Musk are having lots of financial abundance, then surely good people who have free will and have just as much opportunity to experience things happening in their life and to have ideas and to follow through on them, like surely we all have access to the same stuff. We all decided, okay, let's be born, let's go ahead and have a body and have a life experience, and we're all gonna get to the end at some point, and the big mystery, woo, there's no evading that. You've gotta wake up in the morning, you've gotta eat, you've gotta take care of your bathroom needs, you've gotta sleep at night. We all have the same physical constraints, and yet why are some people able to manifest the most incredible life and other people are deep in suffering? It's interesting, and it also is kind of crazy to think that we're creating this whole reality, and yet the more normal it can feel to have the life that you want and to expect things to work out, expect that you're gonna have rock star parking, expect that you're gonna have your favorite waiter at the whole restaurant and the meal is gonna be amazing. If you have that mindset going into it, you're gonna have a really great time. And if you have the mindset of, oh, nothing ever works out for me, things are overpriced, you're gonna have a bad time. One more teacher that I wanted to speak about, which has been a huge game changer in my last, say, 6 months, is listening to the teachings of Neville Goddard. Now, he lectured about the wish fulfilled and living in the end. And he also talks about programming yourself as you go to sleep, because those 5 minutes before you drift off to sleep, that's when your subconscious is going to take over. You can do what he calls the pruning shears of revision, which is if you got a bill that day, in your mind, instead of a bill, you create, oh, I got a check in the mail for a bunch of money. Or if somebody was rude to you and you had a tough interaction at work, rather than fixating on that drama, you imagine them complimenting you and you had a great laugh, or you get that promotion that you've been waiting for, or money you weren't expecting comes out of nowhere. I fell asleep one night and I dreamed of $100 bills softly landing upon me. And the next day, there was some money that I wasn't expecting that showed up in my life. And I can't explain it, and I don't know how it happens, but this stuff really works. I was listening before sleep about like a Neville Goddard. He talks about live in the wish fulfilled. So embody the feeling of what it would be like if it was already done. Imagine that feeling. And they've done studies, like people can imagine playing piano. It lights up the same parts of their brain as when they actually play piano. So your brain doesn't know the difference between you having $1 million in your bank account and you just expecting that you have $1 million in your bank account. You make it feel normal. You make it feel like the way it is. I was trying to envision living like a millionaire for just one day. And I fell asleep thinking about that. And then I woke up the next day And it was crazy. I had an acting casting call for online gambling ad where my prompt was, you just won $1 million on the roulette spin. So react that way. Okay, great. And then I also do some catering here in Los Angeles. I wound up getting invited to work the former home of some celebs like J-Lo, and it was worth over $10 million in Beverly Hills. So there's that millionaire mindset again. I was just envisioning that if I had $1 million, there would always be fresh cut flowers at my home. And my wife just randomly stopped by Trader Joe's and picked up fresh cut flowers. I didn't ask her to do it. It all just showed up. Oh, another thing that happened was I got my royalty checks from being on tour. You get paid as an artist and you get paid as a publisher. So I looked at my account and I realized that I got this royalty sum, and I said, oh my gosh, this is fantastic. This is great. Living like a millionaire is working awesome. And then when I went to check my bank account, I had forgotten that I was going to get paid on the publishing side as well. So just in one night of imagining, all of this stuff flooded into my experience, and the timing of it can't really be explained. And gosh, I wish it was just like a faucet where I could be like, okay, bills are coming up, let's go ahead and do that again. But part of it is letting go with the process. And I just thought I would talk about a few little examples I've had in my life where I really psyched myself up to have success and I achieved a manifestation. And sometimes it felt like it was pushing me, or it was overwhelming, or it was a bit too soon. One of those things was meeting my wife, the love of my life. I'd been through a string of relationships that hadn't worked, and I decided I was gonna take a year to just be single and just enjoy dating, and also just to really enjoy my own life. I was doing affirmations in my own voice. I was journaling gratitude in the morning. I was taking good care of my body and pursuing things that brought me enjoyment. And I met this person, and then I was so in love and so infatuated, and I was like, this isn't part of my plan. I'm supposed to be single for a year. This isn't the plan. The more that I realized that this was actually working out incredibly, it was something about letting go of the pressure of needing to meet the one, needing to make it work, needing to be productive with my dating. Just saying, fuck it, I'm pretty cool. I'm gonna enjoy this process for a year, and I'm just gonna let it go. And within 3 months, I had met the love of my life, happily married. Another manifestation that came about that was a lot of fun was my wife and I had sold 2 sort of older cars and had one really practical hybrid SUV. And then we realized we needed a second car. We were living in South Nashville at the time, and it wasn't practical to only have one car. So we envisioned what kind of car would we want. And we decided it was a white convertible, it ran great, it had great speed, it had an amazing sound system, and we wrote down all of these elements that we wanted about our dream car. Within 2 weeks, we had a white Mustang convertible in the driveway. And looking down from the second floor bedroom window at that car, honestly, I felt a little panicked. I felt a little guilty. Nobody in my family would drive a car that's flashy. It's like leather interior, and it's got lights that make this horse light up on the ground, and it's got great pickup and a terrible gas mileage. But it's such a fun car. It's a payment that we could afford and we were approved for, and it was a decision that we made, and it was like, we dreamed this up, and then boom, when the manifestation was there, it actually felt scary. We felt a little guilty. We felt a little nervous. Now we're settling into it, and especially being in Los Angeles, it's not an everyday gonna drive around the gas guzzler, but when the weather's nice and you put the top down and driving on Sunset Boulevard, it's pretty fucking amazing to have a Ford Mustang. I gotta say, it's just fun. It's just nice. It's okay to drive a car that you like. That's okay. Anyway, another manifestation that's come into my life recently that's been like a dream and then kind of like oh gosh, what's happened? Just struggling to make it feel normal and rise to the occasion is actually living in Los Angeles. We dreamed about having a pool and having palm trees and having a gym that we could go to anytime, every morning. My wife landed a job out here, and very quickly we packed everything up out of Nashville and moved out to LA. Sometimes a lot of other people's energy to deal with, and sometimes it's like more expensive than you were knowing to deal with, or I've been completely astounded at the traffic that it can take 90 minutes to get somewhere else within the city, or like helicopters just fly over your head at any time. That wasn't part of our vision. The whir of the freeway nearby and helicopters circling, but here we are. And then something like the LA fires happened, and it was really scary. And like, is this where we're meant to be? Not only like writing down what you want and breathing into it and being grateful for what you already have and trying to feed yourself full of positive thoughts and mantras and like positive brainwashing, and all this stuff is helpful. But it's like, as you are leveling up, as you are stepping into the life that you dream of having, it's important to know that there might be a little bit of like the bends when you come up too fast, that it feels like, wait, I thought I was supposed to be single for a year and here I am falling in love with someone. It's like, just go with it. The universe has their timing. I wanted the convertible, but now I'm worried about what other people are gonna think. It's like, don't worry about it. You get to embody it, and if the car doesn't work for you, you can sell the car, you can get a different car. Okay, we moved out to LA. Is it gonna work? I don't know. I've only been here 7 months. So maybe it's a fit forever. Maybe it's a fit for now. It's definitely a fit for now. And what the future holds, I don't really know, but it is incredible to think about the power that we have in our own imagination and the power we have to make things happen. Now, vision boards and journaling things that you want to have happen, like physically writing them down, really, really helps. It's taking something from inside of you and making it real, making it exist on paper. And I think there's so much negativity and there's so much noise, and it's so easy to get caught scrolling, and it's so easy to think, oh, I have to be informed, so I have to hear about all the most fucking horrible things that are happening everywhere. And do what you gotta do to take care of yourself and your community and the people around you, but try to focus on what's going on inside most, because it seems like that has the biggest impact. This is the first posting for Maracuyaaaaaa. Passion will lead you where you need to go. Try to relax and enjoy the ride. Thanks for joining me. If you liked this, please hit that subscribe button, hit a like, leave a comment, helps us grow, and I will see you next week.